Okay, guys, we're about to find out if this is working. If you can hear me on Twitch, please type something in chat. I don't see anybody on the audio channel on Discord. Let me make sure you guys go there. Nobody's typing anything on the Twitch chat. Awaiting confirmation if you guys can actually hear me properly. Well, I am going to suppose you guys can hear me, even though nobody is saying anything. There's like a chat box where you could type. Okay. Okay, two people can hear me. This is marvelous. So what we're going to do now is we're going to learn discrete mathematics. This is going to be happening a total of 16 times, plus a 17th if you guys fail your exams and have to take the second opportunity examination. So first to answer Natalie's question, how do I take attendance? You just need to type something on Discord. We're going to get to that soon. If you already told the bot your student ID, the bot is taking note of your presence, but we're going to get to that if you guys can just let me. So for the time being, everybody needs to go to my website. I am going to put it on the Twitch chat just in case. And we're going to go through the steps we need to do this first class as soon as everybody finds the website. So obviously, what we're doing now is teaching. You click in teaching. Then this is current teaching for the fall term of 2021. And we are doing discrete math. So we're going to go to the homepage for discrete math. This is the stuff I was asking that you guys would read before today. If you haven't read it, you can read it at some other time. It's okay, but I'm hoping some people already read this. And the classes are going to be on Twitch, and I'm going to be supporting you guys also on Discord. And you will be communicating with each other mostly on Discord. All the information on what you're going to be learning about, what you're going to be learning to do is here on the website. We're going to go over the grading criteria as well. We have a to-do list for the first class. If you click here in Primera Clase, this is what we are doing today. I'm going to again copy this and put it on Discord. If you're not on Discord and you're only on Twitch and you're actually signed up for this class, you need to go to Microsoft Teams. You need to go to the team of this class, and the Discord invitation is there. You need to use the one I posted this week because they expire. If you try to use the one I posted a couple of weeks ago, that's going to be expired. Okay, so, sorry. So you are on Twitch, wonderful. You are on Discord, wonderful. You should have created your Discord account and validated the email so that you can actually type on the Discord channel. Everybody should have written exclamation ROL on the Discrete Math channel. When you do this, I'm going to do it now so you can see it. The bot will assign you the role for Discrete Math. So whenever I speak to students of Discrete Math, you will be notified. When the bot tells you this, you now need to talk to the bot by direct message. How do you send a direct message? You right click on the bot and you go message the bot. What are you going to send to the bot? You're going to send the 7 digits of your student number. The bot will tell you that it has taken note of your student ID, meaning that the bot now knows that your Discord user corresponds to a specific student that I have. Why do you do this? Once the bot knows who you are, whenever you write anything at all, I'm just going to write anything at all, but you get the point. Anything here, the bot will notice that you're talking, and the bot's going to make a note that person such participated. So if you want to be worrying about whether or not I know that you were in class, when you do anything on Discord, the bot always knows it. Always. So just say something on Discord every week and you're never going to miss class. It doesn't even matter what time you do it. The bot's just going to notice that you're there. The part about getting the role, you only have to do that once. And the part about sending the student number, you only have to do that once. Typing something on the channel is what you want to do every time that you want the bot to know that you are actually still alive and taking the class. The next thing I've asked you to do is everybody answer a short survey. I'm going to be applying 3 short surveys on you guys. One's now, the second one is right after midterm exams, and the last one is right before the final exam. I'm trying to figure out what you guys think about the class, what you're learning, what other things you're doing, what topics you're struggling with. Me and other colleagues, we're gathering this information because we're trying to identify what are causes that affect whether a person passes a class and what might be the reasons people are struggling. For example, if they work long hours, if they had trouble with some previous course. So that's what the little survey is for. If you haven't done it yet, please take the time at some point today to fill that in. I can see on Discord that Carter doesn't have the role yet. If you guys look at the names here, all the green people, they have the discrete math role. Carter is in white. It means Carter hasn't written the role, and we have to get Carter to do the role thing. There he goes. So now Carter is a good boy. He's also in green. If you see your classmates not having done the role, if they don't show up in green, if they show up in white, remind them. You got to do the role thing so that you're actually going to get the notifications. And also, there's a good way to find out whether they have sent the student number. You guys get extra points if you help each other. So when somebody is being very helpful to other people, you can give them credit for it by assigning them the most valuable player. Let's find somebody who's being valuable here. Jose Sandoval is being valuable. So now if I were signed up for the class, I could type exclamation MVP, then I will tag Jose Sandoval. And then I would write, why is he a good person? So if Jose Sandoval has bothered to tell the bot their student ID, then the bot would take note that this guy was being helpful and who was the person receiving the help. At the end of the semester, everybody who you helped, who actually passed the class, will give you some extra points. The extra points you get depend on how well they did. If they got 100, you get more extra points. If they got a 72, you get less extra points, but they have to pass the class. Everybody who helps everybody who passes will get a tiny bit of extra points. But you can only get extra points if you actually pass the class, and helping you will only generate extra points if you actually pass the class. So it's like an extra lottery of points that goes in function of who was helping whom at the end of the semester. So anytime anybody's being helpful, please use the exclamation MVP, tag the person and write how they helped you. If the bot says that they haven't told their student number, remind the guy, hey, Jose, no te voy a poder dar puntos extra porque el bot no sabe tu matrícula. Dile al bot tu matrícula. So you can actually help them back. You can just tell them, hey, you need to send a direct message to the bot so I can give you extra points. And they're going to be, oh, yeah, thank you. And they're never going to give you extra points for having helped them. So anytime anybody's helpful, please do this. It should be really easy to remember this MVP thing. But I also made a web form for it. Like if you forget, you would type here the student number, what student number helped which student number in what topic. But this is obviously more complicated because you need to know the other person's student ID. But if you just use the MVP, the only thing you need to do is tag the person on Discord, and that should work. Another thing we're doing with the bot is that I made little polls. I can make a little poll on Discord asking a question, and then you guys will react to that question with different symbols indicating if you've understood, if you have a question, if you need more time, or if you actually weren't listening. So I'm going to make a test poll on whether or not you understand how to give extra points to your classmates. If you understood, you click on the green thing down here. If you have a question, click on the question mark and start typing your question. If you don't really know what's going on and you need a little bit of time, you click on the third one. That's the confused face. If you barely just showed up, you were getting taquitos mañaneros and you haven't been listening, you click on the last one. So when I know that most people are okay, we can continue. If I see that there are questions pending, I won't talk about anything else because I'm going to be waiting for the questions to be written so I can answer the questions. And if people just need a little bit more time, well, then we just wait for a little while. I can put a be right back animation and go get coffee or something if you guys need to work on something a little more. So now somebody has a question. Iram Mendoza has a question, and we are waiting for Iram's question. If you don't have a question anymore, you just click on the question mark a second time, and it's going to take the reaction away. Two people have a question. Bre has a question. Iram has a question. Okay. Angel already has extra points, supposing Danielle will actually pass the class. Lots of pressure. Iram still has a question, but maybe Iram is actually just confused, so let's continue for now. I could see here if someone were typing, and Iram isn't typing, so we're not going to wait anymore. Another thing we need to look at today is what are we going to be learning? So the only thing you need to know now is a good understanding of high school math. If you missed out on something, if you're confused about negative numbers or fractions or something, you might want to watch a little bit of YouTube, but you don't need to know any other stuff really. What we're going to be learning is stuff like mathematic modeling and algorithms. We're going to first be studying logic, digital representation of information, stuff like inference. Then we're going to go to combinatorics, which is going to be about sets, about subsets, about combinations, about permutations. We're going to talk about the Fibonacci sequence. We're going to be messing with logarithms. And then on the second half of the semester, we're going to be working with graphs and trees and some algorithms and problems that are very relevant for many branches of engineering. And this is a very important thing. You need to know how you are graded. And I actually need to have evidence that I told you how you're graded, because some people, they just don't do their homework. And then at the end of the semester, they complain to the school, the teacher never told me I needed to do my homework. And then everybody's in trouble. So this is when I'm telling you, you have to do your homework. Ustedes tienen que hacer las tareas. Si no hacen las tareas, reprueban. You have been informed. So we're going to get 50 points in total for homework. This homework is grouped into 5 homework assignments, 5 questions each. So every single question will give you 2 points when you answer it correctly. It will give you nothing if you do not answer it correctly. We have 2 ways of answering these exams. There's going to be like a desktop site and a mobile site. And I made an English version of the mobile site for you guys. We're going to look at it in a bit. So these points were just accumulating points as such. There's like no percentage. These are just raw points. If you have 30 points, you have 30 points. Then we're going to have 2 exams. They're going to be 20 points each. The midterm, 20 points for the first 7 weeks of studies. And then the final exam, another 20 points. So if you do all the homework and get a perfect score on the midterm, you already passed the class. The final project, it's an individual project. It's going to be worth 10 points. There's instructions on how you do it and when you do it. You are not allowed to start the project until you have finished the homework. So first we do homework, then we do midterm, then we do more homework. Once we finish the homework, we do the project, Then we do the exam. And if you still don't have 70 points, but you took part in at least 70% of the activities, then you take a second exam. Okay? I have written on the calendar what dates we have exams. If you find any errors in it, you need to let me know. And the extra points will be applied after everybody took the final exam because they depend on whether or not you actually passed. Your results are going to go on the pending results page. This is the explanation of what the columns mean. This is the explanation of who gets to present a second opportunity exam. You need to know all this. It's in the university rules and regulations. The explanation of when things are due is also here. And everybody needs to fill in this little registration form here. You will fill it in exactly once, and you will pay attention to what you're doing. You will type here an email, whichever email you want to use. You will type it correctly and you will never change your mind about it. If you think you might forget which one you put there, take a screenshot, write it down somewhere. You need to know what email you put here. If you tell me in 3 weeks, Prof, I forgot which email I used, I'm going to be like, well, fuck, we're resetting everything then. Because nobody else knows what username you picked. You're the one who knows. So just put your main email here. Then you will type your student ID number, all the 7 digits, and you will pick what study program you are from. If you are none of these, if you are something else, please don't click the button. Instead, write on the channel what study program you are from. I will add it to the list and then you will go click the button. If you've already done this, it's easy to check. If you've already done it, you're going to see the last 6 digits of your student ID, your study program, and which group are you signed up for. This group is M4. If it shows 3 interrogation marks here, the question marks mean you have not completed the registration. So if you haven't completed the registration, please do so. If your study program is missing, you need to let me know. So I will add it. Then once you've actually signed up, you can start seeing your points. For example, this guy here already did the whole first homework. So he's got 10 points for the first homework. His homework total is 10. He has not done the project. He hasn't done any of the 2 exams. He doesn't have any extra points. His accumulated grade is 10 points. He doesn't have a right for second opportunity exam yet because you need to participate in 70% to get the right. He has 7 things that he hasn't done yet. 4 assignments, 1 project, and 2 exams. All these other people, they haven't gotten any points yet. The moment you get some points, they will immediately appear here. For example, this person here already did all the homework, but obviously they haven't done the project and they haven't done the exams. If you want to do all the homework today, you can do all the homework today. Nothing will stop you. Our goal today is every single person in M4 having at least 2 points in the first homework. As soon as you grade your homework, you will come back to this page, you will look at yourself, the last 6 digits, and you will see the number 2 here. If it didn't show up, there is one single explanation. You messed up your sign up. You need to put the same homework here, same address here as you put in the homework. If you put anything else, if you forgot one letter, then you're never going to get the points. It has to be the same email. It cannot ever be any other email. When you present an exam or when you do homework, you always have to use the email you signed up. Never, ever any other email. Always. I cannot tell you what email you registered. That depends on you. Okay, nobody's going to go to a Microsoft store. Absolutely nobody's going to go to a Microsoft store to get Python. We are about to get to that point. If you guys can hold on for a tiny bit so I can show you. Nobody will use the Microsoft store for this, please. Okay, let's get back to the course website. I'll try to hurry up before you guys do something dumb. Okay, so the homework system. I'm going to open the homework system. There's also a PDF version of the materials, and I'm also going to open the mobile version in English. In the beginning of the homework system, there's the instructions on where you're actually going to get the Python and what your textbook is going to be. If you haven't signed up, it's going to tell you to sign up. And what you will do here is you will write the exact email that you registered, the exact one. The very first time you go in, it's going to give you a pop-up saying it's a new account. You should only see it the very first time. If you get it a second time, it means you just typed your email wrong because it isn't the same email you had before. You can see here what's the email you're using for the homework. If it's the wrong one, you will click to leave the system. So if I write something dumb in the email here, something at dumb.com, I get this pop-up. This is a new account. So now I'm going to be like, Professor, all my points are missing. But no, your points aren't missing. You wrote something dumb in the login field. You need to leave. And after you have left, you need to go in again. You need to write the exact email you registered. And by act of God and magic, all your points are going to be there because you wrote the right email. But believe me, every semester we have like 20 people in tears telling me that their points are missing. They have disappeared. They haven't disappeared. You wrote wrong your email. They never disappear. Nothing will ever make them disappear. Only you typing the wrong email could ever make them go away. And it doesn't mean you're disappearing them. You're just on the wrong account. You have to go back to the right account. And all this stuff you're asking me, like, where's the YouTube? Where do you get Python? Or where's the homework? Just ask the bot. You put the exclamation and you write what's worrying you. Where are the results? Where's Python? Where is the homework? Where is the website? The bot will tell you. No reason to panic. Okay, so once you're in here and you've actually put the same email you registered, there's important information for you. I'm recommending an additional book, especially people who want to do like study exchange or a master's program abroad. I would also recommend that you would read this second book, Concrete Mathematics. And the book I actually need you guys to be reading is Grimaldi's Discrete and Combinatorial Mathematics. This is a very good book. You don't have to buy these. These are really easy to find in PDF online, even outside Russian torrents. Of course, I am not going to give you a link to a pirated book because that's kind of illegal, you know. But I won't stop you if you want to do it. It's a pretty good book. It also exists, this Grimaldi book, it exists translated to Spanish, so you can read that too if you're about to panic. This one doesn't exist translated to Spanish, as far as I know. But they're both relatively easy to find. Neither one of them is really mandatory. Like, if your parents are having a hard time with COVID and you just don't have money for books, please don't panic. Oh, and the guy who's saying his points are missing on Twitch, that's my boyfriend. Don't pay too much attention to him. He doesn't have any points. Um, so those two books, I really recommend you try to get your hands on them. I understand you cannot really go to the library right now. You could try to just read this page. Like, I've written here a summary of everything you need to know, but it's just a summary. So if you have any trouble with this stuff here, you kind of really need to read something else, read Wikipedia, watch a YouTube video, something. If you say that you're confused and you've read the web page, it just means that you haven't read enough. You should also be reading the textbook or finding something to supplement that. So where do you get Python? I already put it on Discord. It's also here on the homework website. You go to the Python website and you click this button. It starts automatically a download. I'm on a Mac now, so it downloads the Mac version. I'm actually going to install this. I'm probably going to ruin my own Python installation because I already have one. but I'm going to just show you how to install Python. It's really easy. Anytime somebody says read the license, just read the license. Agree, install. Takes a little while. If it detects wrong your operating system, you can just click here that you wanted it for Windows, you wanted it for Linux, you wanted something else. Use the latest version. The latest stable is the one that it's going to give you the button for. Mine's almost done installing. Natalie already wants to take the exam. You actually can. I'll show you in a little bit, but you can already practice the exam. Just waiting for Python to finish installing. What else did I want to show you guys? Homework, Python. Oh, I wanted to show you the exam dates. That's what we were trying to check. So here on the schedule, on what happens on each day, it says when the exams are. Today is the 5th of August. Our midterm exam is going to be on a Wednesday, the 22nd of September. And our final exam, it's going to be on a Tuesday, 23rd of November. And the second opportunity is going to be on a Monday, 6th of December. I don't get to choose any of these things. These are on the calendar of the faculty. And that's why they're not at the same weekday that we have our classes, because I really don't get to choose them. If you guys don't know how to check what date your exams are on, we have help for you. In Discord, there's a category UANL here. That's where we put everything related to UANL. And it has another channel named by the university. The university calendar is here. And then there's a FIME, and the FIME calendar is there. Also the one for Sabatinos. And there's a little pin symbol where the important posts are pinned, so you can always go back to those. In a similar way, you can check the pin on the discrete math one. So if you check the pin here, you could see any messages that I want to pin. What I am going to pin right now is the website for the course, because anything and everything you guys need to know is on the website. And remember, if you're asking for something that I've already said, you can rewatch this video whenever you want to. As a response to Via Toro, the registration for your homework email and the student number, and that's on the results page that I just linked again. So you can go there. And okay, let's take a look at the homework. So on the same page where the materials are, which you can get from the bot by asking for tareas, you can also look at those as like a mobile mini site. You put the same username, and this is the one where I actually put the questions in English. So you could use this one. It doesn't have any images, it loads much faster, and it's easier to use on your cell phone. This is the English version. So this is where your homework's going to be. You can look at all the 5 questions of all the 5 homeworks. You can grade them one at a time. You fill in your answer, you click grade. It's going to put this little symbol if you're right, and it's going to put like a red text saying what could be wrong with your answer if it isn't right. If you have any trouble, if it puts something that you don't understand what it is, if you see an error or something, just take a screenshot and put it on the channel, and I will look at it as soon as I can. So what we're going to do today is everybody's going to answer question 1 from assignment 1 as a minimum. I am going to now take a screenshot of my question 1, and we're all going to notice that my question isn't the same as your question. When you go in, you get a different question. Everybody gets a different question. These are pseudo randomly generated. You don't have the same homework as other people. So if you ask somebody, hey, what did you get for homework 1? And the person says, oh, my answer is 13. It doesn't mean your answer is going to be 13. You have a different question. So instead of asking them, what's the answer? You need to ask them, how did you get it? So let's use Python for a little moment. to answer this particular question. This one here. It's about sets. If we don't know anything about sets, we're going to either read the course material, or we're going to read the textbook, or we're going to watch a video where I explain where this is done. Let's go look at the course material briefly to Discrete Math again. First class, the homework system. And let's do what everybody in FEMA always does. Just jump ahead until you see something that seems related to the homework, and then later say that nobody told you any of the other things. Okay, it's talking about sets here. So the black boxes are how and what to do in Python. So we can copy what's going on in the box to try to adapt it to our homework. So it says I can create a set by putting the name of the set, then an equal sign, and then a brace. So it's telling me that if I want to put letters like A and B and C, I should put those in little quotes. Okay, I can make a set. And I could just try that if I want to put numbers, apparently I don't need the little curly thingies. But if I want to put the numbers as text, I could. It's fine. So this is how you can create a set. Mathematically, a set is an entity that groups together objects. These objects are said to belong to the set. And each item, each object can either belong or not belong. One object cannot belong several times. So our set A contains 2, 4, 9, and 1. In my homework, in your homework, it probably contains something else. My set B contains 4 and 7. Okay, I could use the len to check how many objects are in the set. That's called the cardinality of the set. I could check if something is in the set. I could check, is there a 2 in A? Yes. Is there a 2 in B? No. Is there a 4 not in B? Well, no, because there is a 4 in B. So this is how I can interact with sets in Python. If we study the material more, we learn about these mysterious symbols. The weird U, it means the union of two sets. The upside down U is an intersection. And the division line that's kind of like leaning the wrong way, that's called the difference. And here in the black box, we can see how to do this in Python. So A union B would be the combination of everything that's in A together with everything that's in B. Whereas A intersection B would be what do A and B have in common. A difference B would be what's in A that isn't in B. B difference A would be what's in B that isn't in A. And now you guys can notice I don't actually write difference. I write like A dot, then I start writing diff, and then I press tabulator. Tabulator auto completes all the possible things that this Python editor thinks I could be trying to say. So I don't have to type the long stuff. So if I decide to give a long name to a set, I don't have to type it all the time. I can just tab complete. Okay, so those are union, intersection, and difference, and how to create sets. Now we can see in our homework that we have all of these combined, and there's parentheses. So I have to respect the parentheses. The inmost thing is the intersection of C and D. Let's create C. If I could type, C is going to contain 1, 6, and 9, and 1. When we look at C, we can tell that Python took away the redundant second one, because in a set you cannot belong twice. That's just bullshit. So Python knows this and it gets rid of the second extra one. So that's my C. What's in my D? 1, 2, 3, and 5. So this is my D. So what's my C intersection D? I could do this, or I could use the symbol. C ampersand D gives me the same intersection. So that's the part that we have in parentheses. Then we need to do the difference between B and this stuff. So we could do B difference C intersection D. Or I could use the symbol B difference. It says here the difference is a minus sign. C intersection D. Or I could just give another name to C intersection D. I could call it, let's say, X. That X would be C intersection D. And then I could do B difference X. If we look at the homework, then there's another parenthesis. This B difference C intersection D, it gets unionized with A. So let's give it another name. Let's call it Y. Y is going to be B difference C intersection D. So now I can do A union with Y, or I could do the symbol, that's the bar. So I could do A bar Y. Or I could type the whole thing as A union parenthesis B difference parenthesis C intersection D close parenthesis, and get the same result. Let's see if everybody's okay with doing this in Python. Once we've understood how to do this in Python, I am going to do it on the whiteboard, and you guys are going to do it again on your notebooks so that we know how to do this both by hand and by Python. Let's make a little poll. If you follow what's going on in Python, you click on the green thing. If you need a little bit more time, you click on the third one. If you have a question, please start typing the question as soon as you've clicked the question mark. I'm also going to link you guys a YouTube video where all of this happens much more slowly so that you can look at it if you want to. Every single homework has a soundless video where I very slowly go through the steps. And I'm actually going to show you guys a thing about YouTube that's very practical. Since these videos don't have any sound, you can make them go slower if you want to. So here under configuration, you could change the speed. You could make it go at 1/4 of the speed if you're afraid you're going to be horribly confused. So you have a lot of time to read absolutely everything. If it's the other way around, if you already understood everything and you're just checking something, you could make the video go twice as fast as usual so that you don't have to wait for stuff to show up, so that the 12-minute video actually turns into a 6-minute video. So all of this is in YouTube for you guys to watch whenever you want to. Everything we're doing now will also be in YouTube. I am going to upload it right after the class, and you can rewatch it there as many times as you want. Everything we do is always here on the website. If you start reading from the beginning, you try everything that you see in these black boxes in your Python. Everything is explained here. If you run into something that wasn't explained, you check the textbook. If you can't find it, you ask on the Discord channel. Everything you need to do the homework is mentioned here. And the same homework questions actually appear after each unit. These are the same exact questions that you can see on the mobile sites. These are just in Spanish instead of English. They're all here. And you will use the same exact username for both of them so that you have the same exact points in both of the systems. Okay, let's check the poll. And there were some, okay, I'm clicking the wrong thing. There were some questions there. Let's look at the questions. Okay, now A is not defined because you put a lowercase a. Your set C is just fine too. A set is not an ordered thing. In a set, it doesn't matter which element comes first, which element comes second, and which element comes last. It's only about whether or not things belong in the set. It's normal that the set appears in a different order. Orders don't matter. Sets do not have orders. So you never have to worry about that. Natalie, there is absolutely no reason you couldn't download Python. You need to go to this website. You need to click on the yellow button. If Windows tells you, are you sure you want to download this? You need to tell them that you can. If you're not the administrator of your computer, it's not going to let you install anything. And we have a panic version for people who cannot install anything. Let me link it. I'm trying to remember. I think the bot knows it. I think the bot calls it online. Yep. If you go to this site, Natalie, it's a website where you can use Python online without installing it. I think it's a worse idea than doing it on your own computer. But if you cannot install, well, then use it here. So we type all the same stuff here. So A will be a set containing, where are my sets? Let's go up. My A had a 2 and a 4 and a 9 and a 1. My B had a 4 and a 7. My C had a 1 and a 6 and a 9. And the second one doesn't do anything at all. And my D had a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 5. And then what I want to see, I need to put a print because I'm on an online thing, so I need to ask it to show me the result of A union, parenthesis B, difference, parenthesis C, intersection D. Need to make sure I'm closing all my parentheses. And then I would press the play button to see where I have a mistake. Oh, I didn't put the curly brace on B. I will press play again, and now I get my result. So you could do this too. But I really recommend that you look into how to install Python on your computer. If it's absolutely impossible, just use this online thing. I'm going to take a screenshot of this in case you guys forget. But I'm pretty sure you need to put the print here. I'm going to see if it does anything if I take the print away. Yeah, it doesn't give you any output. So you need to put the print if you're in the online system. If you're using Python locally, then it's an interactive shell and you don't need to put a print. All this print stuff, it's also covered in the material. So now I would like everybody to take a couple of minutes to try to do this in Python. And then once you've typed in your answer, pick the grade button. Even though you've only filled in one question, you still click grade. You don't have to answer all 5 questions. You can grade them one at a time. And once you grade, if it said it was okay, you go back to the result page and you should see 2 points in the first homework. So let's please do that. Once you've done that, we're going to go to the whiteboard and see how to do this by hand. If you're confused about anything at all, please write it on Discord or in the chat on Twitch. To Marcela, that's union, the bar. It's in the study material. It's in the black box that I was just showing. I'll show it again. Let's go back. Teaching, discrete math. I'll take a screenshot for Marcela. It's right here. Students at our university are really good at always asking the same stuff that's already in the study material. Vietoro, you don't have to do all of the first homework, but I do want you to do the first question of the first homework because I need to see that everybody actually understood, everybody filled the registration. I need to see those 2 points here in the first column. I need to see them. Because if we don't check it now, 5 weeks from now, there's going to be someone saying, I did all my homework, but all my points are missing because they didn't understand what to do. So I really need to see you do that first question now. I don't think it's a lot to ask to do one single calculation today. And if you don't have Python, just use the online one that I linked. And we're going to do it on the whiteboard. It's going to take us like 2 minutes maximum as soon as everybody's done with Python. So 23 people are okay. Ulises has a question and 14 people need more time. When you don't need more time anymore, just go back to the survey, click again on the confused face to take that away, and then click on the green one to move yourself to the green column. Well, we don't have people who need more time. We're going to do, neither has a question. That's a very common question. You don't clean them. That's the most 80s thing you could ever want to do. What you do is you learn to live with your mistakes. You never ever clean them. You just do something dumb here. There's an error, and then you just live with it. And you continue doing something else. If you do something so dumb that it gets stuck and it doesn't let you do anything, what you do is you click Control C. Control C is a keyboard interrupt that releases you from whatever stupidity you were doing. Control C. That you will just happily live with your mistakes. The thing of clearing the screen, it's like a really 80s MATLAB thing that you guys shouldn't even be aware of because it hasn't been relevant ever since you left your father's testicles. Some people think it's really important, but those people are just profoundly confused. Just don't worry about clearing your screen. "15 people need more time." Yasi Brick, Eduardo, and 13 others need more time. No, you don't need to put the curly braces in the answer, Danny. I think you can, but you don't need to. And you could separate them by commas if you want to, or you could just separate them by spaces. What you cannot do is glue them together because 1, 2, 3 is not the same thing as 123. So just separate them somehow. But the homework system, it's really forgiving. If you do something weird and you grade and it says it's wrong, it's okay. It just tells you what's wrong and then you try again and you try again. You can try 5 billion times. I'll never take points away from you. And it's really funny because later on we're going to have homework where there's only 2 possible answers. It's either 0 or it's 1. And people still can't do it. I'm like, guys, just type 0, grade. If it says it's wrong, type 1 and grade. It's 3 points. There's no way to fail this. But they're like, teacher, I can't do it. I'm like, what exactly are you doing? How exactly is it giving you the wrong answer? It's either 0 or it's 1. My recommendation is always take the points. Take the points as soon as you can, and then later try to understand what's going on. But if you first want to understand and then take the points, we're going to get to the point where I need to fill you a grade that's 70 points instead of 84 because you delayed things. Or worst case, you have 68 instead of 70 and you don't even pass the class because you never graded the last question, even though you could have guessed the answer because I give you infinite guesses. Okay, let's take one last look at the poll. If the confused people don't start typing their questions, we're going to go to the whiteboard. Yeah, it's still the same people confused. Let's just go to the whiteboard and then check if there's any more questions. Okay, whiteboard. Lovely. So we're going to do the set stuff on the whiteboard now. So I have a set A. It has a 2 and a 4 and a 9 and a 1. This is my set A. I think they probably taught you sets in like primary school. I remember my primary school had sets. Then 4 and 7. So this is the 4. It goes together with a 7, and those guys are set B. Then we have 1 and a 9 with a 6. These guys are set C. Then 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay, this is going to get ugly. 3 and a 5 with a 1 and a 2. These guys are set D. So we're first asked, what do we have in common between C and D? So I have C and I have D. What I need to be doing is checking which items are in both. 1 is in both. There's a 6 in here, but there's no 6 in here, so I need to take the 6 away. There's a 9 in here, there's no 9 in here, I need to take this away. These guys weren't here, so they need to go away. So what's the intersection between C and D? It's just the 1. So just this 1, that's the set we were calling X before, the C intersection D. What's in common between C and D? So now we are doing B without X. Okay, what does this mean? Let's say that these would be the students that are now connected to Twitch, and these would be the students who have followed me on Twitch. So what would be B difference X? It would be those students of mine who are now on Twitch but haven't followed me yet. So if 4 and 7 are now on Twitch and 1 hasn't followed me yet, there are no present students on Twitch who haven't followed me yet. So basically, if I take away the intersection of C and D from B, nothing happens because none of these items are in here. I'm going to give you guys a visual representation of what this looks like. So let's say this is a set S and this is a set T. The difference between S and T is what's in S that isn't in T. This part here is what's in S but isn't in T. Whereas this part here is what's in T but isn't in S. So basically what you are doing is you are removing the intersection because this stuff here is the intersection between S and T. So now if I have two sets, let's say P and Q don't have anything in common, their intersection is an empty set, then this implies that P without Q is the same as P, and also Q without P is the same as Q. Because if they have nothing in common, taking Q away from P doesn't change P. And taking P away from Q doesn't change Q because they had nothing in common. So in this case, when we take X away from B, B ends up being the same thing as B without X because they had nothing in common. So what's B without X is just 4 and 7. So now if I need A union B, what do? First, I put everything that's in A. That's 1, 2, 4, and 9. Then I put what's in B. I put 4 and 7. And I combine all of this to one single set. And I get rid of the duplicates because I know they don't mean anything. So my union is 1, 2, 4, 9, 7. It doesn't matter which order I put it in because sets don't actually have an order. Oh, Freya's here. Freya, can you come down and say hi? They can only see your tummy. They're gonna think you're really fat. They're gonna think you're really fat. Okay, let's say hi. Good. Ready? Yeah, you can go back. Let me get you guys a photo of what's going on in the whiteboard. It's not extremely helpful to look at the whiteboard if you didn't listen to the explanation. I don't know, Freya wants to smash the camera now. I think there's going to be a Freya in the picture. And let's check on Discord if we're any better now. So you should be able to arrive at the same exact conclusion using Python and using your notebook. And if you actually have good memory, you might be able to do this in your head, just reasoning without any kind of drawing or writing down. Let's make another poll. And I'm going to take a look at the results to see if anybody's actually done this. Okay, there's one software student, one systems administration student who already did this, another ITS. Yeah, a couple of people have done this, one mechatronic, another mechatronic. But every single person in M4 should have already done this, every single one. If you did it and your points are not showing up, I am going to remind you one more time what's the problem. If your points are not showing up here and you already clicked grade on the website, you didn't use the same homework email. You have to use the same email. Once you grade, the points are going to show up. If you do not see a button to grade, it means you haven't signed in. You haven't given your homework email. You have to put the email, then you can grade. If you don't want to have to scroll down to the homework, if you just want it to be there immediately, then you're just going to use this mobile version. We have the version in English and we have the version in Spanish. I'm going to pin the mobile version in English so you guys can get to it faster. You type in your answer, you press the button. Here it also says how many points you have. It should say 0 out of a 10 first. Then when you do 1 correctly, it starts saying 2 out of a 10. Now, if you're bored because we're going way too slow, you can just answer the other questions. What we're going to do next week is answering these other questions together. And if you want to know which questions are for which week, it says it here in the schedule that we're today starting the first homework, getting at least the first 2 points, which is the first question. And next week, we finish homework 1. Then we start homework 2. Then we finish homework 2. And then we're going to do what I think Natalie already wanted to do. We are going to start practicing the exams. I have a video explaining exactly what the questions are going to be like. They're going to be multiple choice questions. There's going to be an explanation here on how to answer them. We're going to spend a total of 3 weeks practicing this in class so that absolutely nobody will be confused. And we're going to use an online system to answer this exam. And you can start using it today if you want to. Basically, you go to the exam system, you type the student ID, you put the same homework email you're using, and you choose to practice the exam. You press a button, it should give you an exam. And what's going to be in your exam are your questions. Sometimes it loads in the wrong order because the logo of the university, the faculty logo is really, really heavy. Don't panic if this happens. If you see dollar signs, you reload. If that doesn't fix it, you can force reload with an, I think it's a Shift F5 or something. I don't know what it's on Mac. There we go. Shift reload worked for me. And you're going to start seeing the questions. So this is just like the question in the video. Let's look at them a little closer. There's a little counter thingy here, how many you have responded to. And I'm just going to randomly pick solutions here. I'm going to randomly pick something to every single program. We're going to learn all of these things, but if you think you already know them, well, you can find out easily today. You can see how it's counting here that I've responded to 17 questions. When I've actually responded to all of the questions, then I can press grade. And it's going to tell me how many points I got. It's going to show me which ones are the correct ones and which ones are the incorrect ones. And you can still see the questions so that you can work what's wrong. This is a weird bug I've never been able to fix. Now, when it makes the math formatting, it gets confused with the problem. I've tried to fix it many times, but I think it's somebody else's JavaScript that does something weird. If that happens to you and you want to look at the question again, just press back. It's the same exact JavaScript that formats it here, and it's just fine here. Like it's fine here. But then on the result version, it's like, oh my God, I can't do this. I'm like, well, but you already kind of did it. So it's confusing to me why it breaks on one page and not the other. But this is the exam system. You guys can practice with this. It grades you. And when it's a practice exam, you can go back and you can change your opinion and then you can grade again. In the real exam, it's not going to let you grade again 7 billion times, but in the practice exam, it will. But we'll do that together too, so that absolutely everybody will be able to answer absolutely every single question in the midterm. Okay, we're getting a little better. Of the people signed up in this class, 22% have already done something in the first homework. The systems administration students have the highest participation percentage in the first homework for now. Mechatronics have the weakest. This thing updates itself in real time, so I can just spy on you guys here while you do the homework. If you already did the first homework assignment, I clicked the wrong button again, and you have absolutely no questions, you're free to leave now. There's like absolutely no reason to stick around if everything's okay. But if you have not seen the 2 points yet on the results page, please do not leave. I'm going to quit streaming on Twitch and I will join you guys on the voice channel on Discord, so that if anybody struggles finding their 2 points, I will help them. If you already have your 2 points, you can leave. It's really important you remember that I'm only showing the 6 last digits of your student ID here. It's not your whole student ID. And if you need to find yourself, let's say that we are this guy and we can't find ourselves, what would we do? We would be in the beginning of the page, well, we would do a Control F and we would type the last 6 digits of our homework. And no, Viatora, no one can give you what's the answer because everybody has a different question. Everybody has a different question. We cannot tell you what's your right answer. We cannot. If you need help, you need to give us a screenshot of what your question is. You need to give us like a photo of your of the notes you made on your workbook, on what did you try to do, but we cannot tell you what the question is. Every single homework and every single exam question is different for every single person. No one will ever be able to give you your answer. They will help you, but you need to show them your question. That's the only way. But let me quit on Twitch. I'll join you guys on Discord and I will give you the URL to the Twitch recording if you need to look at it again. If you've been really confused because your English is bad, don't forget I'm giving the same class at noon in Spanish. If you're busy at noon, you can just watch the recording later, but I'm going to do all of these same things every Thursday twice, first in English and then in Spanish. But I'll catch you guys next Thursday. Only leave if you already have your 2 points showing up on the results page. If they're not showing up, please be on the voice channel on Discord so I can help you. I'll catch you guys there in 1 minute.